Everyone, just welcome. My name is Olubade. I am the founder of Bloom in all its permutations and versions. um, where you are is you are at the monthly meetup, global meetup that Bloom has for creatives all over the world. So this is our monthly meetup, and it so happens that during this monthly meetup, we're going to have conversations with each other that impact our creativity. But also, for this meeting, we're going to be launching something called Create Space and also launching Bloomfest 2023. So I just want to welcome you to our monthly meetup, our monthly global meetup. There's some music happening in the background, and if you could bring that down, that would be good. It takes the echo off. Right. So with me facilitating today's conversation are two amazing creatives, and they're Bloom Guides because they have been trained in the philosophy of blooming and have tracked this work for over 4 years now and the evolution of this global community. So it's quite an honor to be guiding this conversation with Chantal and Kweku. So immediately let me jump in and have you guys introduce yourselves into the space. And so they'll be kind of like, all three of us are doing it together, providing guidance. So Chantal, you want to take a go at it? Introduce yourselves to the folk. Chance? Thank you, Chantal. Kweku, Art.
Yeah, so I'm Kweku Act. I'm a learning and development specialist by profession and an artist by passion. My practice is channeled through my collective, which is called OWL. And OWL is, I would say, my channel for finding home. And so our mantra is OWL is home. And through membership to OWL, you are guaranteed that there'll be an opportunity for you to belong, an opportunity for you to be safe and to be valued in a way that has you shine. And the whole intention is that that shining is comfortable, creates comfortability for you to make a difference in the world. So my whole vision is channeled through OWL, and OWL was partly collaboratively created with Father Bloom using the philosophy of blooming. So it's what makes me even more passionate to be a Bloom guide. What I think creatives need and I need at the moment is the resource for a wider group of people to have access to these kind of spaces. So there are people I work with in the Volta region, in different parts of Accra who would need to be in this conversation, and they definitely don't have a laptop. They definitely don't have Thy Kingdom, who's our amazing tech guy who's making all this zoom out to the world. And I think that this would be amazing because there are creators out there that if we had access to all their wisdom and also they had access to ours, amazing things could happen for Africa.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that's Kweku Art and Chantal George. And now I want to hear from folks just very briefly. Chantal?
Yes, I wanted to ask if we could just pump up the volume a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That would be helpful for us here.
Okay, great. Thy Kingdom, can we do that?
Yeah, I think on the mics.
How is that? A little low. How is that? Okay, so I probably need to speak more into the microphone. Yeah. Perfect, perfect. So cool. Just back channel me here. I want to get a sense of who is in the room, and so we're going to be asking very briefly that everyone here and also the folk in the room have an opportunity to introduce themselves. And cool, how do we want to do that?
Yeah, so we want to get a sense of who's in the room, so it's the name. Also, it's really kind of what you feel. No, sorry, your name, your location.
What do you do?
And what you do.
Yeah,
at this stage. I was getting excited because I was going to start to ask people to go in, and that would be long.
So here's the thing, guys. We're managing time, so we want to be very crisp in our speaking. At this point, you're going to have an opportunity to speak at length, but right now we just want to get the extent of who's in the room. I see Akintunde there from Lagos, and we want to get a taste of everyone. So let's just jump in and just say who you are. We're going to start with the people in the room here. And Era, quickly, your name, what you do, and where in the world are you?
Hi, my name is Irabna Ajaman. I am co-founder and CEO of Where Ghana, and I'm based here in Ghana.
Hi everyone, my stage name is 100%. I'm a poet rapper based in Ghana, Accra.
My name is Ni Tete. I'm choreographer and the director of the Noyam Contemporary African Dance Institute.
Hello, my name is Sichokwe. I'm based here in Ghana now, and I'm the founder of Sichokwe Wellness.
Originally from the UK.
Hey there, my name is Chris Foley. I'm based here in Ghana. I'm actually into music and paintings, and actually I'm a model as well. That's it.
And he's here in Accra. Let me add that for him. My name is Ajaman. I make people and things better using skills garnered over a career that spans different decades and traverses different sectors. And I'm here in Accra as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jojo Timmy. I work in interior styling, and I'm a production designer as well. I'm based in Ghana, Accra.
Yeah, this is Pharaoh. I am a musician and also an instrument maker. Yeah. Yeah, sure, yes. I create my own instrument, my own invention, and I also make traditional instruments as well. Yeah.
And he's in Accra too. Well, he's in Dodua, in Ghana.
Hello, my name is Isaac Norte. I run a multimedia company in Ghana as a voiceover actor.
Thank you. We go to the back row.
Yeah. And this lady back here.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Penelope, House of Prempe founder, health and wellness fitness consultant.
You're here in Accra.
Yeah.
We don't want to forget our tech people, Mr. Carlton, or everything.
Hi, my name is Carlton. I run a media company called Oshun Communications. I hail from, well, my family hails from Jamaica, born in UK, now in Ghana.
Welcome.
Awesome, awesome. We tend to forget our tech people. Come on, Stephen, say something.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephen, a process engineer, and I do business consultant as well.
Nice one. There's some other creatives here, but we want to jump into the group that's online, and we want you guys to begin to introduce yourselves now. And Chantal, can you do that and have people point to who they want to go next? Can you do that? So let's go with Sekou first. Sekou, you're on, and then Sekou, you point to who you want to hear from next. Herb.
Yes, hi. Herb Brooks from New Jersey originally, in the States, and currently in Bronx, New York. I am a streaming video distribution coordinator, so after your films get streamed into the networks. And I'm also a nature connection guide.
Awesome. Herb, pick somebody.
Who is Nicholas?
Nikowayo.
Pick someone if the person doesn't would get them again.
That's on.
Yeah, because just in case Quincy.
Hello, hi. Nice to see everyone
Recording in
here.
progress.
Yeah, I am Quincy Adam, and I am a licensed psychotherapist that has a private practice in Brooklyn, New York, and also online, of course, since COVID has disrupted things there. So that's who I am.
Quincy, pick someone you want to hear from. Hasn't gone.
That's right. There's a lovely name, Rosie Gordon.
Rosie.
Hello everyone, I'm Rosie Gordon Wallace, and I am speaking to you from Miami, Florida, the land of the Tequesta and Seminole ancestors. I'm originally from Jamaica, and I work with Caribbean artists, emerging Caribbean contemporary artists here in Miami. And I am going to pick Nelia.
Nelia.
Evans.
Nelia, tell us your name, what you do, and where in the world are you?
Almost, it's Neela.
Neela.
Neela. Pick up the joint and knee and say you can run off. Yeah, really sorry. It's okay. Hi everyone. My name is Neela Evans. I am a choreographer, movement specialist. I am also a dance academic, so I'm director of studies at the School of Dance in Kingston, Jamaica, as well as I have my own dance project called Good to be here.
Awesome, Neela. Pick someone you want to hear from.
Pick someone.
Sorry, Sean.
Oh wait, yes. Marguerite.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marguerite Hamden. I'm in Brooklyn, New York, originally from the Netherlands, Afro-Dutch. My roots are from Suriname. I'm an entrepreneur also, so we have a business called Equal, which is based, is a lifestyle brand, and Willie Watkins. And I'm also the founder of Over Timeless, which is this that we create spaces, we create inclusive spaces, backgrounds in dance, performance art. So we incorporate all of these different things, music, conflict resolution, transformational work, EDI, to make sure that we have healing, transformation, and also send our beauty out in the world.
Beautiful.
That's it for now. And I'm going to Nila.
Neela just went.
Nella L.
Nella? Ah, Raja. Nella, come on through.
Nella. I'm not saying it right. Nella L.
Nella, go, you're unmuted.
maybe that speaks about music, and I am now going to
Uh-huh. Nicholas, Nico, we are back to you. Nico?
We get an audio. I wonder if Nico's got audio.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to bounce from Nico. We're going to go to Akintunde. Chantal, if you don't mind. Akintunde, talk to us.
Oh, Nicholas, you call? Nicholas.
Yeah. He's not. Yeah, Nico, go for it. Sorry, Akintunde.
Yeah, Nicholas Etewayo. I was born and raised in Ghana. I still live in Ghana. I'm an artist and a tutor.
Wow. These short introductions are so unfair, Kweku and Chantal, because there's so much depth. Nico, choose someone.
I haven't been able to see more people there though.
Okay, I'm going to choose for you. Can I?
Yeah, thank you.
Lavelle?
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon from Ghana. I'm Landola Bajua. I'm a young entrepreneur, the founder of Lavish Creation and Events Management. I'm glad to be here today to create a space for Bloom 2023.
Lavelle?
For my screen, I think I have David Williams. So I choose you, David Williams.
Dave on mute.
Dave, we can't hear you. I think you have to unmute.
Oh, I was on mute. Good morning. Hi, Neela. Oh, it was.
That's my Caribbean people.
I'm a choreographer with a background in marketing. I'm one of the co-founders of Kuku Dance Festival, a contemporary dance festival that we hold in Trinidad here every year. That's how I know Neela from Jamaica. And right now I'm thinking about considering ideas of, as a dancer and as a citizen of this country, Trinidad and Tobago, the idea of aging, and that's with regard to myself and the country. Thank you. So, has Herb gone? Herb Brooks?
Herb has gone. Herb has gone.
Yes.
So Dave, can I choose for you?
Oh my gosh. Ish. Ish, are you there?
Okay.
Choose another person, and maybe they might come on if they hear their name called.
Okay.
Another time.
Sunday?
Sunday. Okay. Okay.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. So, my name is Sunday Oluwaseun Kwedoku. I'm from Nigeria, based in Ghana. A dancer, a performer, a fashion designer, and a dance instructor, valid to the site. And I am an open artist. I'm open to, learn from everybody here and everywhere. So that's just me, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm the commercial. I'm sorry, that's I could put on the video.
Thank you, Sunday. I'm gonna go ahead and choose another.
So I'm up to Akintunde Disu. Akintunde Disu, yes.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Hi, my name is Akintunde Disu. I'm from Nigeria. I am an artist and an entrepreneur. I run, my art is about the history of my people, and I run Hot Beach Club, which is a string of beach clubs along the coast of Lagos, Nigeria. And I also do Right on the Beach, which seeks to do what's right on the beach. So we're a social enterprise that basically socializes the care of the environment by creating incentives whereby the people who live in these areas and are cut off from the mainland and have to bear the brunt of things like plastic pollution and climate change get rewarded for working to help us mitigate against all of these things. Wow. Thank you. Let me pick someone. Awura, Abena. Have they been? Awura?
Era went already. Era, you logged on somewhere? Okay. So, Jane Morgan just entered the room. Let's see if Jane, your name, what you do.
I think, and then there's Nati.
I think that's everybody. The gentleman at the back by the piano.
Okay, so I see that. I see him. So, Kweku, do you want to introduce yourself? Okay, good. So just take a pause for a moment, guys, because we could go on like this for a while, and there are going to be other people who are going to be entering the room as we have this conversation. But I just want for you to check in with yourselves on the Pathe dear. No one called in you. Pathe, can you hear me? Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Pathe J. I'm a poet and novelist, and I'm speaking from Senegal, Dakar.
Yeah. I had to get Pathe in there because if you can imagine, there are people on this call from Senegal, people from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from Lagos, Nigeria. Pretty soon we're going to have somebody coming in from Amsterdam. There are people from New York. And what I'm present to, and I just want for you to check in with yourself, is the globality of the conversation.
Can I just check something technically?
Yeah.
Thy Kingdom, I'm just checking with you. Is Olu being heard through the audio on this feed? Because it seems like when I turn it off, they can't hear. So maybe it should be on. Okay, it should be on.
So if you can hear me, just wave your hands. You can hear me? Okay, awesome. So I just wanted to take a moment for us to get present to that there's a global conversation on Saturday afternoon here in Lagos at 9 o'clock in the morning there in New York, the time it is in Miami, where Quincy is in Barbados, where Pathe is in Senegal, where Kantumbe is in Lagos. We have gathered in this moment.
Mind your hand.
Right? And something called us to be here. So in that spirit, I want to welcome you. There obviously is something that has called us here today to have this particular conversation. The way the rest of the program is going to run is that we're going to engage in a conversation around what will we need as creatives, global creatives, to take us to the next level in 2023 and beyond. As creatives, one of the things Kwaku said to me, we already work very hard. And so what we want to listen for is what's going to take us to the next level. And we want to ask as many people as possible to jump in here. And we want the conversation to be quick, we want it to be smart. Think of one or two things off the top of your head that you need and want right now. Not just speaking for yourself, not just speaking for other creatives, but also for yourselves. So we're going to continue that conversation until we get an hour into this meetup. Then for the last 30 minutes of conversation, we're going to be introducing Create Space, and we're going to be giving you a way to enter Create Space and for us to create it together. Okay? Create Space is a project management space, project development space, but it's also a community in which we're going to be sharing with each other and creating work collaboratively that gets showcased at Bloomfest in New York City, and it also gets showcased at Bloomfest here in Accra. And so we're going to be telling you a little bit about that platform and how you can participate, but you're already participating in that platform. How can we take our dialogue here to the next level? That's what we're going to be talking about. There are incredible creatives in the room, and 30 seconds of introduction does not do it justice. If you think of Chief Moomin, he just led a cast of 200 people across the stage at the National Theatre here in Ghana, and he's trying to pawn himself off as, I don't know what he said. We think of Sekou Luke in New York City, who just did Unscripted, in a big way in New York City. We think of Rosie and what she's doing. We think of Akintunde, who didn't tell you about Pop Beach Club in Lagos, 2 locations. Nico Wayo, who's creating art, massive art, throughout the streets of Ghana. So we're only getting a window into each other. So the Create Space platforms gives us an opportunity to dive deeper into who we are. So just suspect that today you're getting a little taste. Okay? So cool, I want for you to lead us through this section where we get as many voices up inside of this question. What do creatives need and want, and will make a difference to us in 2023? Okay? Cool?
Yeah, thanks, Olu. Awesome. Round of applause for Father Bloom. Yeah. So we're going to be bouncing between the 3 guides, Olu, myself, and Chantal. So Chantal, you also get to steward the conversation. The benefit we have on Zoom is the chat, so people can respond in the chat on Zoom. In the room, you can also put your hand up for the mic, and also you can put your hand up on Zoom for the mic as well. So we have these different layers and ways we can feed in. And the call is being recorded as well. So the guys are going to capture all the stream, and it will be available as a YouTube link for us all afterwards. So that's going to be awesome. And then we have Loud Seiram, who's capturing so that we have an artifact, a piece of art from this as well. So thanks to the creative team here. So the question is, what do we want and need right now as artists? And one of the things I wanted to, we had in the conversation around that is context. So I want to open the floor of that question. And when you introduce what you feel you want to need, in the eye, speaking personally for yourself, is for you to really set the context. So what you need is to do with the environment you're in and what it is you're wanting to create in the world. And so it would help for us to hear a little bit about that, and then what it is that you really need.
What is the time for each person, Cool?
So I think we would let people flow, but it will be about being conscious of the space in the room. We work with agreements as a practice in Bloom. One of the things we talk about is that we're really conscious of the airspace that we inhabit. So we speak from I. So when I'm talking about me, I use the word I. And also, I listen for the gold in others. in order to do that, I also need to be monitoring what it is how much I'm speaking. And then also when I'm listening for the gold in others, I'm also wanting to bring my, to pardon the pun, 100%, all right? Bring all of me moment that I'm delivering. So yes, so really be conscious that there's a whole room full of wisdom, and share from truth, what's true for you. So who would like to step into that? So really your name and what it is you want to need right now as an artist. Sharing with us a bit about why as well. Who wants to open up?
So perhaps we can take this 20 seconds, half a minute for you to ground yourself in that question. Choose two things at the top of the mind, as Kweku said, that you as an artist need and want right now. And that's a reflection of what the artists and creatives that you're working with need and want. So just take a couple moments and just ground yourself if you have to make a note for yourself. And then cool, we might call on some heavy hitters who we know is ready to fly off right away. The other thing is, just quickly here, and watch me on the over-speaking, I tend to do that, so I'll raise my hand on that. But I just want to put in this thing. Creatives are not just artists. Creatives includes artists. It's anyone who's bringing new value into the world. Anyone who is experiencing the thrill of creativity. And by thrill, we mean that you're equally excited and terrified. Let me say it again. As a creative, you're equally excited and terrified. That's how you get in the zone in this conversation called the creatives, okay? So, cool. Pick someone and let's go.
I'm compelled to hear from my homegirl, Sunita.
Sunita.
Sunita Cragbay in the house.
Sunita.
I was trying to be invisible. Hi, hello everyone. My name is Sunita. Nice to meet you. You can call me Ita. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I was trying to reflect on what you said, because I think maybe we actually don't take the time to actually figure out what we need. We just keep going. So I think that's the first thing that came to mind, because it wasn't like, it didn't come like this, you know, what I need. I know what I need to do, but what I actually need, or what people need from me, I know that too. But what I actually need to do, or people need from me, I think that's something that I haven't necessarily taken the time to think about. But I would say more recently, what I'm suffering from is lack of, I would say maybe, well, basically, to cut a long story short, I need help when it comes to resources. And by that, to be more specific, human resources. I was telling a friend recently that every time I sit with entrepreneurs lately, within less than 5 minutes, the conversation becomes, I have issues with my workers, I have issues with my team, I have this, I have that, you know, and it comes back to us, the people that are helping us to do what we do, you know. So I think it's just a matter of probably having resourceful, productive and efficient people around me, because I'm hyper productive, so that I can continue at that pace. And the second thing I would say is build a bridge between what I'm doing and who I am. That's what I need to do right now. Because one of my learnings recently is that there is a whole group of people that know me for what I do, and another group of people that know me for who I am. And I haven't made that bridge, and it's actually affecting my delivery, my, not my identity, because I've done that work, but my output, my potential as well. So maybe finding ways to connect people that know me from the creative industry to people that know me now as an entrepreneur. Yeah, I'm open to all the suggestions.
And just, Olu, because Anita came in after the intro, I think it would be great for you to, in a nutshell, tell us what Basecamp is.
Okay, all right. So there you go. You said what Basecamp is, so that's the problem. Exactly. So I think I've worked so hard on Basecamp that I haven't had the opportunity to actually introduce myself. So that's the work I'm doing now in different spaces. So I'm Sunita Cragbe. I'm a creative director by training, a graphic designer and marketer, mostly from the corporate advertising industry in Europe and in Ghana. But I branched out 5 years ago to set up a creative hub, which is basically my gift to the industry. So building a space where creatives can come together. It's not just for creatives. We just preach creative thinking, so irrespective of industry. So it's a space where we work, where we grow, and it's also a space where we socialize as well. So that's what Basecamp does. It's 5 years old and is Accra's first creative hub. All right,
Thank you, Sunita. Yeah.
Okay, we're off and running. More cool. Let's get as many voices in here as possible.
Excellent. Anybody with their hand up in the Zoom room?
Okay, I'm going to pick. Okay, Nelia. Nelia from Jamaica, you have your hand up. Go for it, Neil.
Hi, everybody, again. Oh, my heart is so full. I'm going to try to just, channel that through what I'm going to say, but my heart is just overflowing right now, honestly. To be there in the room with everybody across the waters is amazing. It's a kind of a coming home, which is interesting too, but we can get into that at another time. In my context in Jamaica, one of the most important things that I need is the kind of agile and creative-centered framework that will help me thrive as an artist, not just a creative. By that I mean our governmental framework do not necessarily help to nurture. And I don't just mean funding, I mean networking, I mean being able to be commissioned. I mean, we don't have a framework, we don't actually have a policy that works for the creatives. The people who create the policy think it's working for the creatives, but they have not done enough engagement with us. So that is one thing in terms of the kind of framework that is agile enough to not just be corporate in philosophy, not trying to have us fit into what necessarily the corporate people think they need, or even the bureaucrats think that they need, but actually centering it in what the creatives need, because it's the creatives that drive everything in terms of nation building, in terms of identity building, in terms of personality building. So the first thing I'm thinking of is that kind of superstructure, agile framework like a web, The second thing, which it will lead to, I think, is funding, and funding that is equitable, funding that is untethered to outcome. Because creatives are connected to commercial spaces and connected to governmental spaces, everybody has this idea of what they want you to do, and they want a return on their investment quickly, and they want to see something that is palatable. But not all creatives are here to create something that is palatable. I certainly am not. Sometimes it might be nice, sometimes it won't be nice, because I'm an artist and I have to talk about what's going on. Where is the funding for that? What framework is set up to give us that? So those are two major things that I know will help me in the context that I am in, as well as the creatives and artists with whom I work.
Okay. Major creative. They're coming out of Jamaica. I want to see some hands from the room. Who has their hand up?
And I wonder if any of those points resonate with anybody in the room. That might be a way to start. So
Yeah,
100% is nodding. Would you want to jump in?
100.
I think it would be difficult for any of us here to disagree with the people who have spoken, thus far. We may just feel it a bit differently, but even when Neela is speaking, she's in Jamaica. I've not been to Jamaica, but I understand government structure, and it works a bit differently for us here, but I relate with her. For me, when Olu sent the invitation, I asked the question, many things come to mind. You need money, we can list a long Bible of things that we would say we want, but it really boiled down to me to truth. That what I need is, as an artist, it's not really clear what truth is. People get up, and especially in the world we are in right now, it's a bit confusing. If for someone like me, I'm only on social media because I'm an artist, and there are myths. You need to have this, you need to have that, but does that define you? Is that really what it is? So you need money. Do you really need money? do you really need the question of truth? It's a question in many areas of an artist's life, but I think everybody, like, you start wondering, am I even good enough? And if I am good enough, if I'm creating good stuff, then how do I go about making a living? Now, making a living doesn't mean that I want to be the richest person, but I just want to get by. I want to be able to survive on this. But what is the truth I need to unlock to be able to do that? For people in other disciplines, it's very straightforward. You want to be a doctor, there is a clear line past. You just go there. When it comes to artists or people who are creative, it's not that clear cut. And everybody's truth, your truth may be different from my truth. But for me, that becomes the question I'm asking myself: what do I really need? And even when I get many answers, which of the answers I get really is the truth?
Wow. So that something to help you to accomplish, something to help direct you, so that what you do becomes a way of life, a way of living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The truth. Okay, so I'm going to ask Era. Era, what do you need as a creative to take your creativity to the next level?
So thank you.
Era, give us a bit more context as well.
Yeah, so I think I can't go on without saying what I was thinking while you were speaking, which was, and I speak in I, that I stopped calling myself a fashion designer and started calling myself a fashion entrepreneur to remind myself that it's a business. And Olu gave a fantastic definition of where creative is and made it, I think, quite clear that this isn't only about the arts. And sometimes as a creative, because I am a creative, I feel like that we use the word creative and art almost as an excuse to do and earn less than we can. And I think it's a place that we find very comfortable to hide. Again, I speak in I might be totally wrong. It's just the way I hear some of the things that us as creatives tend to talk about. Because regardless, in my opinion, regardless of whether or not I'm building a fashion brand or I'm making cars or I'm bringing the solution, the cure for COVID, it's creativity and it's a business, and business is guided by principles. And as a creative, I need to understand what my balance sheet looks like. I need to be interested in what the numbers look like. It's a business that I'm running. But coming back to the question of what do I, like when I was going through the things that Olu shared, something that I heard in the middle of the year last year came to me. And I remember when I heard it, I was like, God, I'm going to live my entire life thinking about this. And somewhere along the line, I forgot it. But I shared this as a reminder to myself. But I'm also hoping that it hits someone the way it hits me. And that through that, somehow, the way we go about creating this year becomes different. And the person shared and said, in the world that we are in right now, there are 4 things that we need to thrive. And the acronym would be PILE. So P-I-L-E. P for performance, I for image, L for lack, and E for exposure. Now I take the lack out because that's not something that I can control. But when I think of the things that I need, which I have full control over, it's performance, which is mastery of my craft, mastery. And at every point in time as an entrepreneur, I realized mastery means different things. There was a time when mastery for me would have meant I myself doing A, B, C, D. And what you said, it resonated so much with me. Right now, mastery for me means being able to build a company that has a culture in which great achievers thrive. And so that's the thing that I need to master right now. And then when it comes to the image, being intentional about creating a certain image that leads me to the point where I want to get to, which also, by the way, is also connected to the fact that right now for me, mastery is about the company culture, being able to attract a certain type of talent. And then the E is the exposure to the audience that is relevant for me right now. Because the audience that might have been relevant for me year 3, year 5 for Wear Ghana might not be the audience I might be engaging right now. Maybe right now I'm trying to raise a certain level of investment, and so it means that my image must be attractive to this audience, and that I'm putting myself in certain spaces and creating the chance for exposure with these people that take me to the next level.
Thanks for sharing, Era. Awesome, thank you.
Cool. I wonder if we could go to, I see Rosie clicking her hands there. Rosie in Miami. And again, everyone, let's get as many voices in here as possible. And I see Sekou. So let's go Rosie, and then followed by Sekou. Rosie, go for it.
Luke, I'm sorry, before you go, just because it's been difficult hearing me, we have other people that are also, who was also waiting. Pathy, I hope just to make sure we catch him as well.
Okay, got it. And Akintunde, hands up. Okay, everyone. Rosie, let's be mindful. We want to get as many voices in. So Rosie, Akintunde, Sekou. Rosie, go for it.
I'm going to go really quickly because I use the word I want to really listen and absorb from this global brain tank here. But in our practice, I have an incubator space. And for those of us who are in this creative world, we know that as you incubate, things change, things shift. And I am really guided by the power of the word. So I'm just going to go through the 5 things that we do here to encourage each other. Artists need space. No matter what medium you're in, no matter what discipline, we need space, because space allows you to perform and grow to a different perspective. If you're a visual artist, and I work in the visual artist field, people need to be able to create to scale. Artists need time. And I loved what Neela said, that it doesn't have to be tethered to a productive, it doesn't have to be tethered to an object, right? We need time to think and absorb and meander and dream. Artists need access. We need access. Those of us that sit around the table, all of us powerful people, don't lock the door behind you. Leave it ajar so that when you're leaving the board, and I want to thank Olu for this opportunity, when you're leaving that table, someone that looks like you gets replaced in that table. Access, because with access comes knowledge, comes information. You know where is going next, right? Don't come off on this, take another highway. Resources. I love the fact that resources is not always pinned to the dollar, the flipping almighty dollar. This, for me, is a platform of resources, and we have not changed a dollar. But let's not forget that we live in a capitalistic globe, and that the exchange of dollar doesn't only mean the I. I need dollars, but I don't work from a point of I. In the space of the economy. We need dollars. We need to look at the principle of ASUS, where when Olu needs something or Nicholas needs something, this platform, which I will become a part of, will build that resource. So we need dollars, resources, funding. But my Lord, we need community. I can't tell you. I am in a space in this new 23-year where I'm in transition. And this community has anchored me this morning to make me feel connected to my sister and brother in Africa and in Jamaica and in Trinidad and Tobago. So we need community. And then lastly, the archive. Olu has been very particular in forming this bloom philosophy where we can bloom in place, flower in place. But as we flower, may I please encourage you to archive your work so that the next generation can access it. Document your work so that we can come back to it and learn. And from me here in Miami, in Little Haiti, where the roosters are jumping and the chickens are grabbing up my garden, I send you this joy from this garden, Diaspora Vibe Cultural Arts Incubator, where we allow, embrace folks like yourself to thrive. Thank you, Olu.
Rosie, thank you.
Thank you.
Quick, we have a home in Miami now.
Beautiful.
So we're coming to Miami, Rosie.
Olu, I wanted to just make a request because Chief had rushed in and he's heading off to be on the radio. So for him to contribute, he would need to do so now because he's going to go. So would he be able to sneak in his view and then we go back into the room?
Okay, cool. So I know Sekou and Pathé is holding on. So Chief Moomin, Lord, our Chief, give us your views. What do creatives need here to thrive and would make a difference?
Thank you very much. Very insightful comments coming in. I want to take from the idea of artists need space and community from the last speaker. Because I'm at a very important moment in my life where I've been having discussions with business leaders to invest in my creative vision. You know, took them a long time to agree to, and we just started the process, and we're now in a phase where we're in a tangle between the creative vision, and the commercial vision. And the major problem is that these business guys do not understand the creative process, so they want to bottle you in a way. And all that I've been arguing to them is that I've been in a cage for a long time. I'm not going to open myself and put myself in a bigger cage, right? I came to you because I want to free myself and create as much as I want to create. One of the things that I am personally learning from this experience, especially with what I'm doing with commercial partners, is that the idea of community is very strong. I had to reflect on what has brought me that far. Putting 200 people on stage is not because we had the resources to do that. I realized there is a relationship and the community that I built over the years with my team, so that even though we didn't have enough funds, if I'm paying everybody commercially, there's no way we could have done the show or what we're coming to do. It's the understanding that we're all building something together. So one of the strategies that I am personally now working on with my team is that the equity that we are planning on giving to investors who come and take so much stake and still want so much control, especially for some of the projects that we are building, why don't we actually just divide that equity among various artists coming together to understand that let's come together, let's share the equity, and let's build this together. Because really, what do you need the money to? You need the money to pay professionals. And if these professionals themselves are creatives, what kind of mechanisms can you create? What kind of structures can you create where definitely they can have a stake in what you're creating? Obviously, you always need the logistical support in one way or the other, but that's one of the things currently myself and my team are thinking through in terms of some of the things that we want to do. But I can't emphasize enough, the importance of community, supporting each other to bring out our creative vision, and most importantly, where creatives find themselves in positions of power. Because I, as a creative, if I am sitting at the boardroom table, I understand another creative. I understand the creative process. So I would not seek, essentially to hold down the person, but to free the person as much as possible. So it is my hope that as we build such communities, we ourselves become patrons of the arts, because that's what we are lacking, especially in Ghana. We really don't have patrons for the arts. So you have to struggle and struggle and struggle to get a little support to do what you want to do. But if we become empowered, then we can become our own patrons and we can support other artists to grow. So the need for space and community for me is very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chief.
Brilliant.
Very loud. Let's go back to the room, cool?
Yeah, we're going back to Pathé. I think Pathé had his hand
Pathé
up.
and then Sekou. Powerful stuff. Pathé dear. Powerful stuff. Pathé dear.
Okay, thank you. I would like to thank deeply Olubade for associating me to this amazing initiative. I'm very happy also to meet all these creatives online. It's hard to be exhaustive, but I will try to share my top 3 ideas based on my latest meditations and readings. And first, my English might be boring, so I apologize for that first. Since the end of COVID-19, we are going through a time of upheaval. That is to say that the points of reference have changed, and those who struggle to reinvent them may allow the species of eschatology and despair to blossom instead of going towards the construction of a livable horizon. In a time where reinvention is a necessity for survival, we have 2 obstacles: capitalism and the state of law that wants to control everything. Our societal models are afraid of those who express the creativity, of those who dare to work off the beaten path. I need indiscipline in the sophisticated sense of the word. It is not a question of breaking the social order nor of disrespecting principles and values, but an ability to multiply identities, not to be reduced to one belonging, as reality is larger than the models that try to represent it, and as the imaginary cannot be reduced to a law or a mathematical formula, the deviation in relation to the norms often offers unexpected paths. This is how I reinvent paradigm, because it allows me to propose other angles or views that the norms prevents us from seeing. The second thing I need is making sense with others. I think I need to collaborate with other creatives. It's always surprising to see the artistic result when a painter works with a writer or singer who works with a cartoonist, etc. The combination of different ways of seeing and telling the reality leads to interesting universe. It adds colors to the art that has no ceiling and no limits. The third and last thing is commitment. It is impossible to make art for the sake of, it is possible to make art for the sake of art, but I believe fundamentally that the artist cannot afford the luxury of turning a blind eye to what is happening in our communities. I don't do this without risk, because there are writers who are in political asylum in other countries, for example, but I think we do things with the political awareness of what it means. We have a responsibility to raise our voices. Communities of women, of children. To sum up, I will say I need indiscipline, making sense with others, and commitment, and these are values which helps me keep my head above water. It inspire and make me shine.
Aha! From Dakar, Senegal. I'm so happy that we're capturing Kweku and Chantal, all of this on tape, so we can listen back to it. Sekou Luke, follow that from New York City.
Amen. Okay, that was church. All right, I think we got it all. We got it all. Thank you, Alu, for creating the space. Thank you, Kweku, for creating the space. Thank you, Chantal. And my heart is full and inspired. When I think about the question, just real briefly, I've been reflecting on that question, Alu, when you shared that out with me, and there, of course. And to follow up, and I love the conversation that's been happening, so I don't really need to say much, but just from the perspective that I'm living in, an artist in New York City, creating a lot of self-generated work, and doing it in this space very challenging. And of course, the initial responses want to say, yeah, I need resources, I need money, I think about even the space, like I'm having to move out of my apartment in a month or two because just cost of living in New York is crazy, and we're trying to figure out how to survive in this post-pandemic time. So to say, when the struggle is real, the struggle is real. So, but the next part of the response from me, what my gut then said to me, what my inner self and my inner voice then said in response to that question was, I have everything I need. We have everything we need, and not to like spit in the face of things coming to you, but what I recognize is from the work at least I've been doing and over the past few years, and that realize, okay, no one's sending a boat, no one's sending a ship to save you. It all has to start stirring up from within. I've realized that as a thank you, Alu, for creating the Bloom space, because what Bloom is giving me is a language for that, a language for the collaboration, a language for building with people. It gave me a framework that made me realize that we can build our own table, right? So it's really about how do we build our table that then says everything is here that we need. And we're going to raise and make our projects vibrate in such a way that the things that we do need will come to us because the project is vibrating at a level. So the resources come because the way that you're framing yourself and presenting yourself in the space does attract the right people to you. So a lot of this building the space, the time, the access, the resources, and the community needed. I'm recognizing that a lot of that, and the energy of that comes from how I am standing and being present in the space. How I'm no longer saying, I've not said to myself, I don't want to prove myself to people. I'm here to do what I'm supposed to be doing, which is creating and collaborating with others. So recognizing that calling, needing to rest in that calling is just saying that it's not so much about needing resources or needing that, but it's needing to just rely on what we have within ourselves, relying on our self-discipline, relying on our presenting ourselves to the world in a way that really reflects our light, standing in confidence in our work. All of those elements, I think as we do that, we draw the resources to ourselves. Having a big, in the Bloom language, we talk about having a big impossible goal. So because I have a big, I show up with that, and wow, the things start coming to me. Wow, that comes to me. Wow, I have a language of how to speak with people. So now it starts attracting the resources, and the right team comes to the project, and the right person shows up and says, hey. And a part of it is I don't do bargains and deals with people in collaborating. It's no, I find out what's the big for you as well. What is a win for the people I'm working with? So we build together and we build a table together. So that's been the philosophy that's been driving a lot of what I'm doing, and I'm so glad to be in that space rather than in the space of just being a desperation for the want.
Powerful. Powerful. Woo, woo, woo! Give him a clap. So, Sekou, thank you for that. You're talking about the philosophy of blooming, and folk are like calling my name and calling my name. I want for you guys to understand that this is not a one-man show. What's showing up here on the call today is a collective of people who have been doing this work for years. Sekou Luke, Chantal George, MX, there are people who are not on this call, Kweku Art, Mitch Tete, people who have been engaged in this conversation called a big. So what you're seeing manifest, if you're feeling a vibration around this, you want to know that we have ourselves been practicing a particular philosophy. And it's not just my philosophy, it's a philosophy rooted in the elements of nature. We are continuing to develop that philosophy and to test it and to experiment with it. But one thing we do know, that when you have a big, you speak differently to someone. When you listen for someone's big impossible goal, you speak differently to somebody. There's a frequency and a vibration. And so when I say 5 million creatives, I mean 5 million creatives. Because there's a language that makes that possible. There's a language that we can frequency among ourselves that crashes that platform. So right now we're on the Kajabi platform with Create Space. I'm paying a couple $100 for it every month. They don't know, but I want us to bring our friends into that platform and start speaking to each other until Kajabi comes to us and say, what's going on here, guys? We don't have the capacity to hold this. And what's true is that we have the ability and we trust ourselves, right, guys? Yeah. To facilitate a conversation between big people. Okay? So, yeah. Akintunde, let's hear from you in Nigeria. Cool? I don't want to step on your part.
No,
but
I
where do
think,
you feel we're going?
Well, two things. One is to do a time check.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know that we are coming back every month and we're going to be on a space where this conversation it doesn't end. Like it's ongoing. Everybody gets to continue to flow. So I am not taking the time. So I think it'd be great.
Yeah, it's 3:11, guys. We're an hour and 11 minutes in. And as Kweku said, this conversation doesn't end. So we want you to go to Create Space. It's an online platform in which we're going to be dumping powerful content. You're going to be putting what you think creatives want and need and providing that. So we're asking you to host workshops around your expertise, the areas that you are engaged with and you want to have conversations about. We want for you to look out to see who is providing something on the platform that might be interesting for you from another part of the world. So it's peer facilitated. It's open space. Anyone can jump on there, are and say, hey, I want to do this, I want to provide this for the community, this is what I want to offer. So Create Space, and I want you to hear this clearly, is a platform where we're sharing our experiences and our information in such a way that we remember who we are and our story, such that we remember who we are and our story and our voices are heard. It's a platform where we are inspiring each other to greatness. So we're seeing in each other as great. So everyone wins on this platform. Everyone is great. It's a platform, and bear with me as I say this,
Yeah.
it's a platform in which there is enough, there's abundance.
Yeah.
And each person's value is being appreciated. There's a value matrix that we have, and that sees us valuably, yes, in terms of financial resources, but there are values that we have as well that we can also appreciate. The next one, it's a platform where we begin to work effectively with each other. How many things break apart because somebody didn't agree with somebody else? We have Kweku Art. He knows how to mediate conflict. We've been training ourselves about that. How do you speak about your emotions but not split over on somebody else, but say what you need in the moment? We know how to mediate conflict, where we're able to work effectively across differences of borders, because clearly we have the technology, differences of race, of nationality, of sexual identity, of gender expression, of race, of class, of tribe. We have the ability, in this platform, we're sharing ourselves in such a way, way beyond those provisional identities that will pass away, to the essence of who we are and what we can do as creators, because each of us are a creative force in the world, coming from the womb of all creation. And then finally, what is the fifth one? Cool. Lord have mercy, where we are well,
The wellness.
where we can keep ourselves well, individually and collectively. We have yoga teachers in here, we have psychotherapists, we have people who can speak to what ails us and how do we keep ourselves well collectively. We know this. And so what we're doing is we're practicing it together. We have the frameworks, we have the content to provide that. So that was a quick injection. Oh my God, I'm seeing Makeda Thomas on the call. This is so wonderful, Makeda. Cool, where do we go from here? So let's do a time check. 15 minutes more of this conversation, and then we're going to take you directly onto the platform so you can see how it works. So cool, 50 more minutes of rich conversations.
No worries. Well, I just wanted to acknowledge Makeda came into the room, but also Freddie Apokwade came into the room from the UK. I had a request from Donna Ferro in the room to contribute to the conversation as well. And just checking with Chantal, are there any hands up at your side? You're quite faint. I can hear you.
Okay. We have Akintunde would like to say something. Thank you. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So Akintunde, and then we'll come over to Don.
Hello? Hi,
You're
can
good.
you hear me? Oh, fantastic. Okay, so everything that's been said is great, and it's really lovely. It's really lovely what Bloom is doing, the big idea. It's really important. I've been an artist for all my life, as I'm sure most creatives are, and I have struggled to balance making money for my needs and doing my art. And I am quite a successful artist, so it's a funny problem to have. We talked about space, and a lot of times my work takes a lot of time to do. So I need space. I need like 5 years before an exhibition or something like that, because it gets quite complicated for me. I have to work with loads of people when I do stuff. Well, maybe 2 or 3 years, but it takes a lot of time. And what I'd really like to see is a bridge between the formal and the informal. I think we haven't really sorted that out. We had advertising agencies in the past, and they sort of helped do this, but advertising agencies are so 1970. We need like a new kind of a vehicle to help us move forward. There's so many things. There are DAOs available now for technology. There's so many ways of like raising money and doing stuff. But people who are not creatives don't even understand that everything they get on a daily basis was created by a creative. And so I think to get to a point where we also create the formal the formal structure that we require to move forward. Because I don't know, but as a creative, I find that creatives are normally like polymaths. You can work in both sides. You'll have somebody who's a banker. I'm a chemist and a trained artist as well. I did both of them, So, it's like, okay, if one is not working, if you don't get a break enough, or if you're not happy with that, then you have to do another thing. But you're still always creating. But it's really difficult to find the agencies that would help you move forward without trying to put you into a box and saying, okay, we want a show every 6 months from you, and just do your thing. It's like, I'm not a performing monkey, I'm an artist, and I think that's really important. And especially on a global level, I think there's like loads of opportunities there for people to get together and start creating this kind of modern this kind of infrastructure that would really help creatives bloom and expand.
Neela, Ebanks in here.
Yeah. I beg your pardon?
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Did someone say something?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think that is actually what I want to say, that maybe we need to, as creatives, open up the space to people from different backgrounds, because the creatives can also be very, very protective of their space, and I think we don't understand that they don't understand us. They just don't understand us, and we need to be able to bring them into these spaces as well, so that they can see our value and they can work with us. As I was saying earlier, like DAOs, which is just something I've been researching recently, just because some chief, I think it was, who's run off to the radio station, was talking about equity and people coming together to do something instead of you looking for finance. But so that kind of thing is things that, we need agencies that are able to pull us all together and create these things, that would help us. I can remember, I can't remember who his name was, but he was doing like streaming and stuff like that in New York. And, these are things that are all around the area. We've got the space like Boom and like Blue. It would be nice to see there being a more formal infrastructure built around to support creatives.
Awesome.
That's well.
Akintunde, thank you. By the way, we're all coming to Lagos.
Yes, I would.
Okay, Akintunde is going to host us there. We're seeing Bloomfest there. We're all heading there. Akintunde, I'm putting you on blast.
Pop Beach Club.
Pop Beach Club.
2024.
Is
it 2024 or 2023?
I don't know. Akintunde, you get to call it. We can go there in a heartbeat.
Okay, Donna Farrow.
What do creators want and need? What do you need and want?
Okay, thank you again for the opportunity. For me, as a creative person, what I would say I need very much is the right people around me. Because when I have the right people around me, I think I can achieve anything that I wanted to achieve. Because when I have a dream of achieving something, and you have someone to help you, but to change the dream, then that means you are not going to achieve what you are dreaming of. So for me, I need the right people who understand the kind of thing I want to do and understand the kind of dream that I have to to put things together and achieve the right goal, you know. So for me, I would say what I need right now is not, even though I need a fund, but the first thing I need is the right people who will help me to push my dream. Because every day when I look at the clock, I realize the clock keep going, and I think I keep growing. Okay, every day I keep growing. So, and I say, when am I going to achieve this dream? When am I going to achieve this dream? So now I forget about many things about the world. I'm thinking about generation now. I wanted to achieve things that will cut across to generations. Let's say 500 years to come, who realize, oh, this is nice. This is who does this. Oh, our ancestors and this is the kind of things I'm dreaming of. This is the kind of thing I'm working towards. So right now, I'm just certified and happy, even though I don't have the billions now. But I'm happy that I have these ideas that I'm working on. So always, I'm trying to make sure I keep polishing and I keep creating. I keep creating new things, inventing new things that will help, because I think our ancestors laid down things for us today to enjoy. But what are we leaving behind? Aha. So because if we are not able to leave anything behind, that means everything is going blank. So always I'm working towards all this. These are some of my dream, and I'm so hungry to add something to what my ancestors brought to us. Okay, so I'll say for me, I'll finalize it that I need the right people around me to achieve this dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Hey, this makes instruments like genius. A dream and a vision that lives across generations. That's what we're talking about when we talk about a big. You know, we're looking beyond our lifetime. We're looking beyond, okay? So Jojo is in the room. Also, I have sons in the room. For those of you who don't know, I'm Father Bloom here in Ghana. And Sensor BG's there pressing buttons. And I got to get my son's voice in here. Otherwise, that can't happen, okay? So there's Jojo, there's Aram, another one of my sons sitting here very quietly listening. I want him to hear his voice. So who can we do? Jojo, Aram, then BG, I want for you to come in and show some love, okay? So Jojo, huh? And my daughter, Ruby Moody. Let's go, and my sister. Oh, there's some people. Let's go. Jojo.
Hello, everyone. I, as a creative, need flexibility, yes, because I think I have to be malleable in my approach towards work, because these are hard times, you know. So I cannot use an approach I used in the past for these times. I need to find a different way to move, yes. I also need to invest in my relationships, as relationships are what brings work. Yeah, relationships bring work for me. It brings answers to my problems. Yeah, some of these problems I don't have questions to with regards to work. Investing in relationships will help me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jojo. Let's hear from Aram and Aj. I want us to hear from you at some point as well. Ruby, let's go.
Hi, I'm Moody Ruby, and I'm a chef. So far, I've got to know in my country here, Ghana, for Africans, we don't create a lot of things. So I bought up a cake mix, Ghana's first cake mix, and more to come. And I'm also training the youth. I see there's a lot of youth not doing anything, and I pick them up, and then I train them in catering, the art of catering. And I've noticed we lack equipment. Yeah, that's what we need, equipment towards creating of a lot of cake mix, because in Ghana, they think we can't create things here. Yes, they think we can't create things here, but we are very creative, and that's all.
Yeah. Awesome, Ruby. Thank you so much for that. Yusuf?
So for me, I feel like what I've been hearing so far is like we as creatives, we have this sort of connection, right? And like I was having this chit chat with Olu the other day, the first thing that came to my mind was the fact that I really, really need my space. I need my space. I value my space so much. As a multidisciplinary creative, I do so many things, and for me to be able to thrive, I need to be able to be in total control, of whatever is going on around me. So yeah, space for me is like number one thing we all need as a creative person. Number two is we need to be disciplined, like discipline. Some days I wake up and I feel like, I don't want to go to nowhere. I don't want to go out. I don't want to see anybody, right? Some day I feel like, yes, I want to see people. So I feel like the ability to do what you're set out to do or what you promise yourself to do, even on the days that you feel like you don't want to do it, that's discipline, right? So yeah, that's number two. And this year I have a task for myself, right? I'm trying to like really, really grow my social media. And one of the way I feel that will be possible is by doing a lot of collaborations with a lot of creative people. So I'm really, really trying to like put myself out there, create with creatives, basically, right? Create something magical. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Okay, let's get some young voices in here. Aram, go for it.
I don't know, but I'm very cold though. Okay. First of all, I would like to acknowledge Olu here. Sorry for my voice though. I would like to acknowledge Olu here because he's doing a great job here in Ghana. This platform alone, this space that I'm in right now, I would say is one of the greatest things I'm achieving this year. The year has just begun though. This is one of the greatest things. You see, it's this kind of spaces that artists or young artists don't get access to. They are all out there. There are talented artists out there who don't get a chance to hear stories that we are sharing here, which I'm fortunate to be listening as a young artist. I'm a music artist and a model. I won't take it out of that, but also we do certain things in the country these days whereby our focus are not really directed to the young artists. You see, communities like the AWO community founder, which is Mr. Kweku sitting right here, this community has really given me a lot. It has really, really given me a lot. From where I come from and people I was surrounded with and coming into contact with a community whereby I can express adequately what I have within myself and tell my story. I have so many ways of telling stories, just like we blacks, how we tell our stories. Our storytelling, though folktales, our ancestors used to communicate to us, those folktales and folklores, today we have other mediums as well, whereas so many of us here have different backgrounds and different things which we do. Just as I said, I am a music artist, so it's not just through the lyrics that I put in my music or even my painting, what I describe visually, but it's also people gathered around me here. These people around me, we are one. You understand? So the unity or finding myself in a space like this is just the opportunity for me to grow bigger and then explore as well. Putting ourselves out there is a very difficult thing for us as young artists because of fear. We fear we may not achieve it because we see, let me say, American artists, we compare ourselves and compare people to us here as well. saying, okay, I want to be like Kendrick Lamar, I want to be like Lil Wayne, I want to be like this and that. But how did they achieve all those things when I want to be like them? You see, so surrounding myself with people like this and this particular platform to hear these stories and then share mine as well, my piece, is what I'm really grateful for. So I would say a big thank you to Olu for this. I don't have much to say, but I want to do more listening than the talking. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Watch out for this artist, Foley to the world. Sensor BG, Nitete, I see you, but let me get my son up in here. Come on, this is the apple of our eye up in here. Sensor BG.
Yeah, Daddy. Hi, everyone. I'm Sensa BG. That's my artistic name. I'm a creative person. I do music. I'm a yogi, a practitioner. I use herb to heal. And also, my vision is to send unconditional love to the world. I'll say what artists need, or what I need as an artist, is to see the value of myself, see the value of the talents I'm having as a gift. And I think when I know or I realize this value, I'll begin to grow in it, and people will also see the growth of it. Example is the water. Let's say water. If water is stagnant and it's not moving, a lot of people don't even want to use it for, let's say, anything. But when it is flowing, being it small, big, someone wants to use it. So as an artist, if I realize who I am and I'm moving or I'm flowing, then I'll have someone to fetch me or someone to come to me, like a moving vehicle. Everyone wants a vehicle that is ready to move at the station. We don't want to go and wait for so long. And so when I'm moving, I'll have people to join my vehicle. And the second thing I think artists need, or I need as a creative, is the community. The people that are believing in myself or believing as I believe. People that are seeing what I see. People that are ready to move as I move. Yeah. And as artist, I need someone to manage, because artist is an industry. I'll say we are industry on our own. And so we need a manager, we need a security, we need for ourselves, we need those things. As an artist, you can't just, let's say, get what you want to get alone. You need to have this kind of branches to yourself to be able to grow. So this is what I need as an artist, to be able to even share my unconditional love to the world. And big him, I'm sharing out.
Watch out for Sensor BG to the world. Oh, Lord have mercy. We're lifting up our young people, our young creators, right, Kweku? Right, Chantal, you've been here, you've met Sensor. He's been at the Our Hub, and we're creating an environment using the Bloom philosophy and everything that Kweku provides at the Hub to begin to incubate, to continue to incubate young, powerful talent here in Ghana. And now we're going to be extending that to the world through Create Space. Nitete. Go for it.
Hello?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So, Sensor, I actually understand why, Olu just spoke highly of you. There's something about him and that, vibe he brings out. I'm really looking forward to how he also develops. Anyway, so 2023, ideally, I would want to be waking up with some choral music being played by our Pharaoh here. I get up from my bed, I'm at a rehearsal hall, all my dancers are standing there, the costume department is set. I just wave my hand and, choreograph that amazing piece, and it's ready to present, and the audience are there, and there's a round of applause. And then I wake up. Because I realized that maybe sometimes that, that struggle, and I'm speaking for myself, sometimes that struggle is where I find relevance as an artist. Because I've traced back my journey, and I've noticed that it's always my most profound moments have been attached to profound struggles. So maybe, as we dream of our ideal world and things we need, let's not shun away from that challenge, because sometimes that is how, that's where we find our development, that's where we find, our growth. Let's not underestimate the power of connection. Artists, what we create does not exist on its own. It's created to live live as part of the human condition. So as we perform, as we create, as we go about what we do, let's not forget that each creation of us can be looked at as a human being, as a living being. It would interact with nature, to interact with space, and to interact with other people's emotions, other people's vibrations, other people's cultures, other people's way of thinking. So we need to approach with that respect. So this year, one of the things I'll need for myself is to be able to slow down enough to appreciate the beings we end up creating, if that makes any sense, And then also one thing I would want us to look, and this more reflection, as we spoke. Right now, the artist, you have to be everything. I didn't think I'd, have to wake up in the morning with my laptop in front of me trying to balance Excel sheets. I didn't think I'd have to sit down going through pages and pages of policy to try and figure out how I should write the proposal, and then finish that, have to go meet people and have to smile at them. Guys, what's up? Thank you so much. This is an amazing production I have in my head. You have to do all that. You have to find time to be pre-creating whatever you need to do before you go and interact with your performers. He's working with us right on the production. Amazing. And to have that collaboration is just, beautiful. But the labor that you would have to go through just to make things happen. And then what is paining and what is really saddening is that the various areas that feed into the artistic field have no clue what it is to be a part of this industry. A perfect example is when I was at the National Theatre. The administrator we had no clue what it is to be with artists. He thought he had to manage artists. And I keep saying, we are not diabetes. Okay, we are not a heart condition. You do not manage us. You facilitate. And then that is a kind of worldview we need to bring in. I think for this year, that is what I want people we work with to understand. We are not illness. We are to be facilitated, because when the right conditions are created, we are the ones closest to God. We create something from nothing. Tranu Manyaba.
That's rich. And again, artists, we are creatives, and we don't want to make ourselves into some exclusive category. We all came from the womb of creation. We are all creators, creating. And Nee, you talked about when that terror hits you, what gets you up out of bed in the morning, and the whole idea that we build a community so we can face the excitement and the terror together and learn from each other. How do we make our way through? It's possible to make our way through. Sitting right beside you is Sitsofe, who has had 99% success in all the grants she has written. Okay, but you don't know that because it takes time to pause to build that relationship. There's a price to be paid for the vision we have. Yes, we can. 5 million, no big thing. All speaking a language and frequency of love that allows us to collaborate with each other. There's a price to pay. There's a price to be paid. And the price I'm inviting you to pay right now is to follow the link that I sent you and sign up for Create Space. It's actually where this conversation takes place. It's going to go on. You're going to meet creatives from all over the world, many of whom have not even said a word here today. Okay, so go to Create Space. Go to bloomeducationinstitute.com. It says enter Create Space, fill out your profile. Each of you, I'm going to send you your instructions again if you haven't seen it. Write up your profile, say what you do, what you need, and what you can offer. We are going to do the rest. Chantal Quick and myself, we're going to do the rest, and others of us here, in terms of knitting us together and allowing us to begin to speak to each other in such a way that we resource each other powerfully. This is the price in the moment that I am being so bold to present to you. This is the price for this conversation to happen and be taken to another frequency. We're talking about building community and being in frequency community and also being in relationship. You're only as powerful as the people who surround you. So if you're not frequenced at the level with people who can hold you to your greatness, like when I say 5 million, I'm very careful about who I associate with. I say 5 million and 2 or 3 people come to mind. And I tell you why, because one of the things we're learning, Carlton and myself, we're looking at old Bob Proctor stuff. Bob says, your friends want to help you win, but they don't want to see you leave. They want to help you win, but they don't want to see you leave. So when I say 5 million, I'm gone. So I know who's going to go with me. Okay? So when you set your frequency about where it is that you want to go, you want to listen to who is okay with you leaving and who's going to go with you. And that is where you want to begin to huddle those people closely. And there's something called a mastermind. On the platform, we're going to be inviting each of you to find your own mastermind. And then we're going to be sending you information about how to build the frequency of that mastermind. Each of you are going to be gifted with Finding Your Big, so you have an opportunity to go through the Finding Your Big process. You'll have direct access to me. I'm very nurturing of this community right now. So you frequency your big, and you want to watch. Listen to the people around you. What is your big? What are you working on? Sekou said, oh, I'm doing this. Okay, great. Let's group together. So inside of Create Space, each person is going to be asked to develop their own blue mastermind. And we're going to be giving you content in a way that you frequency yourself to the next level. Imagine then that all over the world, in Nigeria, in Senegal, in Jamaica, in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Cameroons, in South Africa, there are these groups that are operating on that frequency. So that any moment you can walk into Johannesburg and say, I have a big. And I can say there are 100, 1,000 people there would say, hey, a big man just walked into town. We're doing this by creating a language, a frequency, and the language is taken from nature. So everything you hear of the Bloom philosophy is grounded in nature. And so you can test the language. It's in a book. It's been worked on by Kweku and myself in collective leadership and applying those elemental frameworks to that. In Create Space, the first thing that I'm going to be sharing with you is something called the Bloom Body. And so we're going to be doing a 21-day meditation challenge. And it's about how do you pause and listen to yourself. And say, I can hear myself. As an expression of God, as a child of God, as an expression of the universe, I can hear myself. I have that ability. I can feel myself changing. I surrender to my change. I can see myself with my eyes opened and with my eyes closed. I am allowing myself to be connected to all life. In each moment, I'm home, I'm arriving. The reason why we're asking you to do those mantras and affirmations is because the nervous system needs to get ready for the change that we're bringing into the world. And so when you do each of those mantras and you spend time and you read over your plans and goals, setting specific plans, when Yusuf talks about setting plans and goals and keeping myself disciplined, what do we do on a regular basis in the morning to ramp ourselves up, to assuage the terror, and to step into the possibility of who we are? That's what we're cultivating on that platform. Are you guys hearing me? So the first work is doing the inner work. Then we're going to talk about the planning. How do you plan? How do you raise funds, and how do you sell yourself, and how do you work with people who have the knowledge and skills? Rosie, you there in Miami, you know a lot about writing grants. You know what I'm saying? So how about having a collab in which we're talking about funding and how to raise money, and different people are sharing their skills? How about having a social media collab in which different people, B-Boy Lyrics, who has so many thousands of followers on Instagram, can share how he built that, how he used blogging. Makeda, you have information and knowledge there coming out of everything that you have done around the world. And in Trinidad and Tobago, how do you share that? And how do we collaborate together to make this possible? The sacrifice I'm asking you to make is to be on the platform and to share your gifts. And I promise you, I will give it my all. And I know I'm not alone. Seiko, will you give it your all? Wave your hands if you will, Seik. Kweku, will you give it your all? Everybody, if you're willing to do this, raise your hands. Come on, let's fly. Hey, Dave, I see you. Okay, cool. So we're within the 90 minutes framework, and we're not ending the call as much as we're taking a pause here, because we got everything in. We're turning you onto the platform, and now, if you choose to stay, you're in a free-flowing conversation, right?
Well,
Cool.
I have a suggestion for those on the Zoom.
Go for it.
Because what naturally I think will happen here is there'll be some breakaway conversations. Actually do some random groups so that people can get to know who's in the Zoom room, and have some conversations. And I don't know if you want to do it as a speed dating, or if it's just you give people 10 minutes and then they move around. But it might be nice.
It's interesting because when that happens to me on a Zoom, I log off. I immediately say, I don't want to be in a Zoom room. You know, that's an instinct for me. So I just want to speak to that instinct and not say, no, let's do it. But if you are like me and you have a tendency, I'm going to encourage myself to jump into a Zoom room if you guys want to, because there are some amazing people there on that chat that has not spoken as yet. Dave Williams, I see you. Maharit, I see you. Makeda Thomas, I see you. Freddie Apoko, Freddie in UK, I see you. So there's so many amazing people. So don't jump off.
Yeah.
So Shant, you can do that. Quick, what do you see as next?
Yeah, and just to say, for me, there's a carrot for me in this. Last August, 1st to 14th, many people in this room gathered over 14 days and got behind Father Bloom as part of his big and did something called Bloomfest. And it involved tours, it involved conferences, it involved a club night, which was amazing. It involved being at Sanita's, at Base Camp, doing a very intimate wellness space. It involved Showcase. It involved Jojo Tameng, who was here a minute ago, doing an incredible art event. And in 2023, Father Bloom is always pushing the bow tie. He's saying he's going to do it in New York in June, and he's going to do it in Ghana, Accra, in August. So this journey of Create Space, I also see it as a really great space for creating work that can be shared, sold, conceptualized during those two events. And so if people would like to be part of that international platform held in Accra or New York, this is also a space where we can collaborate and we can come up with things that can be showcased, sold, and also used to inspire more of the 5 million that Olu is envisaging and the millions that are envisaged inside of our own goals. So that's a carrot for me in all of this as well. So inside Create Space, there's that opportunity as well. Have you got your mic, Olu?
So we're going to pause here. Quick just offered something, which is that on the platform, you're going to be meeting creatives that you can collaborate with to create something for New York, and that you can also bring to Accra, August 1 through 21st for Bloomfest here. So there are collaborations that we're going to be incubating. There are matches that we're going to be making. Like Dave, I could see you working on something with MX. Makeda, you could work with something with Chantal, who you've met. You remember she was at that thing at your home in New York. So there are all kinds of collaborations that we know, that Kwaku and I know that you guys see, that we're going to start incubating as collabs that end up in New York and that end up at Bloomfest here in Accra, Ghana for 2023.
And maybe in Pop Beach
Wow,
Club in
and
2024
then
in South Africa.
Tunde, you know, they're calling for us in South Africa. You know, there are linkages we're building, of course, with Akintunde in Nigeria. So yeah, this is where we are. Dave and Makeda keep popping out, and Dave, give us a shout out, just 1 minute of what you're getting from this conversation. Those of you who need to log out and go on, I understand. But I want, before we break into group, Chantal, I do want to hear from Dave, Makeda, and Marguerite what they're hearing from this conversation, is, you know, as quickly as you can, but as pointedly. Dave Williams.
Yeah, thank you, Olu. Congratulations. Thank you for having me. This is a very exciting. It's a very rainy day outside. A lot of birds here. So what can I say that, like other people have said, my heart is full. And in thinking about what we need, it's a very kind of confusing idea now, because the world is outside living to its fullest. And we are asking a question of what do you need? So it's somehow, there's a little, a kind of a strange place that I find myself. And like other people have said, we do have everything, but then yet we need so much, and then it may feel uncomfortable to ask for more. So that kind of space is where I'm thinking.
Nice.
There's also something I want to share, something that happened to me this morning when I woke up, which is just on my mind. Again, I looked out because we live right, there's the forest and there's a lot of green around here and parrots and stuff flying. And it dawned on me, because sometimes we talk a lot about ancestors, and it was the most amazing jolt that I felt that I was not the result of ancestors, but I felt like I was seeing for them. No, this is a very personal thing, but because it just kind of is in my head, like fresh out of it. Like I'm seeing and feeling and experiencing the world for people who have been here before, and it was so powerfully real that I am now the eyes and the sensibilities of particularly like my mother's aunt. So I don't know what to do with that. So that's where my need, what do we need, and who are we, and how do we resonate? How do we, if I hit the laptop, my energy goes into it, how do we resonate with the work that we want to do? And does that cost? Does that come at a cost? Does that need money? How do we resonate as artists? And I've been, a lot of notes, so I'm all over the place, forgive me. But there's so much nutrition coming from just the space here online, and from the environment that I'm in. I feel, is over. I don't want to say overwhelmed, but yes. So thank you. I hope that that resonated, right? But thank you for allowing me to say that.
Dave, thank you. You're one of us. You're here. So great to have you. I want to hear from Marguerite. Hey guys, Chantal and Ku, just bear with me. I want to hear from Makeda, and I also want to hear from Marguerite. Makeda, send us some love from Brooklyn, New York. Trini girl, Trini woman.
Yes, I'm actually joining from Chicago, right now. So yes, moving all around. And this is how I function in the world, sort of all around the world. And what this space is offering this morning, it's 9 o'clock in Chicago, is connection, right? Connection, which I need, which I feel sometimes as though I'm sort of floating all over the place, forcing and making things happen, often in a silo sometimes. And so what this offers me is connection to like-minded, like-spirited people, some way to build other foundations, to create new structures that can support all of us. I thank you for opening the space and for the invitation. Got it last night. Glad I was able to make it. And so what I'm hoping is that that this goes beyond this. I will be on the Create space, and I do hope to make and form some real connections with all of you in the room.
Powerful, 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 powerful. Create space is the space we create. It's not the space Olubode creates for you. It's a space we create for ourselves. So when you get on the platform, share, 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 talk about what you need, post what you need, say what you have to offer. Let's make it happen and invite all our friends on. Marguerite Hamden Gandhi in Brooklyn. Let's hear from you. Unmute, Marguerite.
While listening in, observing, feeling, my spirit is full. It's so multi-leveled, all the factors involved for us to, or I have to speak in the I, to thrive, to make things happen. What I'm sensing, what I'm feeling, what I'm noticing now is like the bridges. Everything comes back to bridges, building the infrastructure. And I had a question that came up. We're talking about creative space being with creatives, and I'm thinking about the non-creatives too, that possibly understand my or our vision, that could be on the same page to build some kind of infrastructure to be able to expand. Because it's not just, yes, we have to have our own space, we have to be able to expand and have equitable relationships. But a question I want to put out there is, what about the non-creatives that can actually be in support of what we want to achieve, and investment in that? So that was just a question that came up for me.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that, Marguerite. I think what I kind of held on to that, I get it. And there's this, did you say non-creative? That kind of stuck with me. So imagine a world that we're all creatives and we're either choosing or not choosing that. And so when Akintunde talked about working with bankers, and Paul talked about, Chief Movement talked about working in equity. What if we began to embrace and understand the banker, the lawyer, the investor who wants an equity as a creative force in the world, and begin to ask them, what's your big? Right? Instead of just going after their money, let's pause for a second, right, Sik? Let's ask, really, you want to invest some money in me? What really is your big? What are you creating in the world that's valuable? Are you on my frequency? Before we get into negotiating posture, let's talk about big vision. Are you a big person? You know what I'm saying? And then we drill down from there. So what I want invite us to do is to imagine a world in which we're all creators, all creatives coming from the womb of creation. Artists are not preferred and privileged in the space, but each person is received as a creator, as a creative entity, as an expression of life, wanting to create, having desires. Dave, you talked about our ancestors, you hearing your ancestors' voices. We could get deeper into that. We are the eyes, ears, hands, and feet of our ancestors. Each of us carry in ourselves, this is classic Deepak, but it's also classic science, the cells and the atoms of every living being who has ever lived before. We are our ancestors. And we carry their traumas, we carry their promise, we carry their desires in our bones. So the terror that comes up for each of us is not personal. It's of the species. And so we get to choose how we step into that. And we get to choose to be disciplined in terms of our confrontation. Each morning, being clear about our plans. Each morning, recalibrating our nervous systems, calming ourselves down, getting on the yoga mat if we have to, going for the walk if we have to, getting together with somebody. Otherwise, we fall back in the atrophy of the species. So that's what we're talking about here. We're moving the wheel forward, because we are our ancestors and we get a chance again to live again and to pass it on to a next generation. Okay? That's what we're talking. Well, was that okay? Just checking. Sitcho, we didn't hear for. Okay, so I'm choosing
you,
for
Father Bloom. You do you.
Indulge me. I just got to get Sitcho in. Sitcho, talk to us very briefly. It's an amazing creative.
Hello, hello, hello. My spirit is dancing right now, and I physically want to get up and express that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that right now because my back
Well,
is
we
paying
might
me
do.
too.
There's music and everything, so I feel like let's just go with the flow. Chantal, I'm sure she's going to have them up
Everyone
dancing
will
in
join
there.
in,
Yeah.
right? A mini party. But today has been really powerful. It's like a Saturday sermon where everyone has shared so honestly and boldly. So I'm not going to hold the mic for too long because I know we're being time conscious. But for me, what really jumped out is the importance around community and connection. And when you asked the question, for me, that was the first thing that came to mind. I realized that coming out of COVID, I was normalizing isolation. And I realized that I wasn't connecting as much. And that's when I fell short, you know. So being here is that reminder of how important it is to connect with like-minded individuals. Because being a creative, sometimes it feels alone. It feels lonely, sorry. Journeying alone, feeling like no one really understands you. I mean, I had parents that were like, you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. And I'm like, no, I'm going to dance. They're like, do what? Dance where? You know? So really trying my hardest to prove to them that what I do matters was tiring. So being in this space where you feel like you're being held, you're being supported, you're being heard is so important to your creative journey, your creative wellness as well. So community is everything. Community is a currency, and each of us, we offer something powerful. So that's what I'm going to offer for today.
Yes, and in the spirit of equity, what I was Ajaman came to alert me to was that Lavelle had her hand up 30 minutes ago. So I think it would be really cool for her to
yeah, and then there's also Carlton and Ajman as well. I don't want to leave and regret not having some voices, having their voices in. So Lavelle, yeah? Lavelle, Queen Mother, bring us some love.
Lavelle, okay. What I want to talk about is my background and my work as a young entrepreneur coming up. And I will talk in the aspect of my work as a fashion designer. Thanks so much, Kweku. I really appreciate this platform. From the very first day I met Kweku and he brought the project of Owl up. I've been dying and always been up with him, standing up and down. I'm so amazed seeing these true people I could connect to, people who believes and also see my dream and my vision. And coming down here to see Olu and Mr. C and all the lovely people whom I'm yet to meet, I really appreciate it. I would emphasize a little bit on something Muddy said about we Ghanaians in particular, we don't love to patronize what is our own. We always want to look out for the Western world because we believe we have this belief they are the best. not because in one way or the other, person made.
Yeah, something's happening with your sound, Lavelle. I'm not sure what's happening.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, I think it's a bit better.
Okay, I was saying, I want to emphasize on what Mandy said about we Ghanaians in particular, we don't patronize our own. We always want to look out to the Western world because we believe they are more creative, they are more prioritized than we Ghanaians because it's not easy for her to put all those ingredients to make it easy to make a cake. And you're like, she's a Ghanaian? No. And that mindset is like, oh no. So don't even go to the supermarket.
Lavelle, I think it works better when you sit forward. So just sit forward when you're talking. Oh, your sound has gone off now. Now, when you're like closer to your phone, I think it's your phone. Yeah, that works better. But your sound went off for a while.
Mandy indirectly in me, as in coming out from University Fresh as a fashion designer, I didn't look forward to sewing as cloth, or let me say fabrics to put on, but I was looking at the interior part, as in designings in your room, your curtains, your furniture, seen with the African print. That was my vision. That has been my vision. So thanks to my background, I had a grandmom who is also into it. I asked her for guidance and counseling, and she was very good to me. But at a point in time, I was like, no, this is not what I want to do again, because we distributed it to hotels and then other schools, and then they'll come like, no, we don't want it because the brand is not that high. And the next question I remember my grandma asked was, what do you want? They want duvets from the Holland, the Italian, the Turkey, and my soul got shut. And that was where I just shut myself within me. I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. And that was then, I'm like, I'm not doing it again. So whatever creative thing I did in that past, I shut it down. My whole being went just shut down. Because I'm like, why do you always want to be like a fashion shoe person or a wedding gown or a suit? It doesn't make sense. This is what I want to do, so why can't I do it? And okay, I'm not doing it again.
Lavelle, keep sitting forwards towards your phone because your sound is going off again. Yeah.
You can do it. So Kweku now started bringing what I have shut down a little bit open. And I had a fear. And then 2 years down the line, Olu came in. And I'm like, okay, the connections are now coming. The dream, the vision that I have, because I've gotten a hold of the right person who's bringing me the connection. And so far, so good. It's been an easy journey, but I'm still working on it. And thanks to Kweku once again, Mr. C and I are working on the project, which we are looking forward for it to just boom, maybe Olu.
Powerful, Lavelle. Cool. Lavelle, what I heard you say is like everything that you need is around you to be used and to jump into. You know, it's right here in Ghana. A little tear came to my eyes because for those of you who are online, I can't tell you how much I'm at home in Ghana, and I've been here for about 16 months now. And this has been a home for me, and I just want to acknowledge Kweku in providing a space in which I've been able to rest and to restore myself, and the community of people, of creatives that have surrounded us, surrounded me, and made it possible for me to be here in so many ways that I cannot even tell you. From the people who are doing the tech in the background, to people who clothe me, to people who counsel me. This is my home, and so what you're looking at here is home, and I just want to thank everyone and just acknowledge that. I know when I go to New York next week, Sekou and Chantal and the rest are ready to receive me as well, and that's a whole nother version of home, but Ghana has been where it's at. And I just want to say publicly, thank y'all.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you all.
It's been a pleasure, Father Bloom. Thank you. Yeah, and I think in tradition there's an exchange, and this is really the exchange. You know, you came with your arms open, your heart open, and so every morning when you wake up in the hub and we go and do our yoga, there's an invitation to be part of this creation, which is revolutionary, actually. So
Yeah. And
that's what I
also,
experience.
Ghana, you know, Chance the Rapper is here, Erykah Badu just performed, Toby Enrique. I mean, this season has just been incredible. And what you guys want to know and what I'm here to testify is that there's something happening in Ghana, regardless of how Ghanaians may experience it, that's actually pulling us home. Like our naval string of all people of African descent, I believe, runs through this land. And so I say that as an invitation to those of you abroad to come to Ghana for Bloomfest 2023. We're going to be hosting you, collaborating with you, and returning ourselves home in a very powerful way. So I'm going to trust Ku and Chantal to do the closing rituals. Yeah, because I'm a little lost in space right now. Ku, what do you see?
Yeah, I think it'd be great to close as a whole group with just maybe a one-word checkout, and then to invite the conversations that naturally occur in the space, and for Citro to enjoy some dancing. And I've got, Ajuman is reminding me that Olu, you offered the opportunity for Carlton to speak, so for him to say something before. But I think that would be quite good, Chantal, maybe if we do a one-word checkout. Just a word that expresses the experience of the call, or the word that expresses where you're at right now, something spontaneous. And then we can get into our connecting space.
This has been an interesting gathering. And I've been quiet for all of the session because there's so many different perspectives that are feeding into the questions that we asked at the beginning. And I think, for me, what's interesting is when you look at the potential of Create Space, each country normally has a distinction when you look at their creative economy. So with Create Space, because we're looking at global aspects, we're talking about a global creative economy that we can all feed into and all benefit from, which is quite distinctive, because I'm not aware of a global creative economy. So for me, that possibility is amazing in and of itself. There's so much that we can create and contribute to each other. The momentum needs to continue. It needs to be facilitated in a particular way and not managed, but it needs to continue if we are to benefit, because circumstances are changing for whatever reason globally. And we need to be able to find innovative ways of communicating our various art forms, regardless of what the powers that be say or dictate. That's it.
Thank you, Carlton. Awesome. Okay.
I was hoping I can escape without saying anything, but that didn't happen. I think it's been a wonderful session. I'm going to set aside what I came in here to talk about and then go with what Carlton talked about. So I remember when Father Bloom and I sat on Christmas Day to work on the copy for the creatives that you saw after Christmas. One of the things I thought we really needed to shout was what Carlton just talked about, and that's the global creative economy. And I think that's probably the most powerful thing about what we're gathering here to do. And I think we all have to pitch in to make sure that works. And the only way it works is when we all come together to work on different projects. And it doesn't mean everybody has to be in 100%. Sorry, using your name again. But it's the little that you can contribute to what the next person is doing. Father Bloom mentioned the fact that there's something powerful happening in Ghana. And I think for me, being backstage at Afro Nation, just to create connections, I was a bit bothered by the number of white people I saw backstage and at some point running the whole show. And there was a question that was going through my mind, even the days leading to the concert itself, that aren't we good enough? Truth is, we're good enough. But we realized that we're good enough. And I think I'd also pick from what Sensei said, which is part of the work that we're supposed to do on ourselves, or I am supposed to do on myself, speaking from the I, is just acknowledging and being mindful of just how powerful that we are. The Greeks call it aret, which is, and I think the best translation for that is the God life. And every single one of us has that God life in us. How much we produce depends on how much we recognize how powerful we are. And we should run the show. The Ghana has become the hotbed in the world, especially during December. Next year, I'd want to see people on this call and people in this room running some of the biggest interventions that happens. It's not good enough if we just show up for the concerts. We are the creatives. Why are we just showing up as fans when we're supposed to be staging interventions? And if that's going to happen in December, then it needs to start from now. So thank you for everybody who jumped on this call. Let's all win together in 2023. Thank you.
Good one, good one, good one. We're going to be answering the question, how do we create a global creative economy? You know, because there are all different kinds of values. So we're going to be learning on about the values that we're going to be exchanging with each other and how. Cool?
Awesome, yeah. And that will be a pin on Create Space, right? When we go.
Oh, yeah. Once you log in, every time something drops, you can send your notification. Key posts, I'll make sure that everyone gets it. I'll do a key post probably once a week. And it's going to be a video talking about the new ecosystem for an economy or something like that. So watch out for the posts because it's going to feed into everything that you're doing. And, you know, again, my commitment is to give my all to support 5 million creatives globally in 2023 with y'all help. We're all going to be supporting each other. Awesome. Peace and blessings. Yeah.
Thank you for the bloom. Cool. So the checkout. So to say your name, and let me be generous, 1, 2, or 3 words that locate you right now. So it could just be something random that just comes out of your mouth without any judgment. It could be your emotion. It could be a reflection. 1, 2, or 3 words without any discussion, any conversation, just the words, name and the words. And so let me pass the mic in here, and I'm going to hand over to Chantal over there as well. So Kweku, light, community.
Isaac, lover of art.
I'm a pharaoh, fire.
Jojo community.
Michelle, absorbed, still unbelievable.
Moody Ruby, creative.
Yusuf, confidence.
Penelope, grateful, manifestation, activation.
Folly, unity.
Itake, peace, opportunity. Yeah.
Olubade, power.
Ajiman, abundance.
Sensabiji, peace and love.
Carlton, power, love, laughter.
Sichopa, spiritually filled, connection.
Nitete, umanye.
100% gratitude, hunger, excitement.
Irapna, ready.
They came to us? Is it us? Every voice I heard, individual.
Just unmute and jump in.
Sekou, I am home.
Yeah.
Rosie, heart full of gratitude.
Jane, You go first, madam.
Alignment and strategy.
Augustine Lawrence, realization of who we are.
Keep jumping in. Heartwarming and gratitude, I heard.
Hey, Marguerite, full gratitude, black joy, black liberation.
Dave Williams, resonance, relevance, and portals.
Freddie, unmute.
Yes, that helps. Freddie Opoku-Ade, equity for invisible labor, and I will be coming back home very, very soon. Need to touch base.
Freddie, we didn't hear enough from you today, but we're going to get you. Nico.
Yeah, this is Nicholas. Peace, love, and blessings.
Awesome.
Thank you.
For Lavelle, power, strength, and fire.
Nice one. Guides, what are you hearing? So some people. Quincy? I think I just saw Quincy flash on. Yeah, so we got it all in. Okay, so how do you want to see us out? Cool. Chantal?
Quincy was going to say something?
Yes, Quincy, deep listening and curiosity.
Awesome. Wow. So we're out and we're on. Again, log on to the website, get your profile up, and we're watching that room very, very carefully and lifting each other up. Indeed, this is our time to bloom. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Thank you. Awesome.
Let's dance.
Yeah, so feel free to gather if rooms work for you on Zoom. Chantal, go for it. Can confirm with your crew.
Big up.
Big up. Take yourselves off the mic. We're in our own space.
Awesome.
Be like water.
Fantastic.
Bring down those mountains.
Yeah.
Be like water.
Fantastic.
Freddie, Tunde, Giant up in here, y'all. We got to talk to each other. We got things to do and to be. I love it.
So feel free to grab someone, have a conversation, set up a collaboration, have a dance, grab some snacks. Ruby Moody, the snacks? Ruby Moody, our greatest caterer in Ghana, has done snacks for us, everybody. So please feel free to run outside and grab a Ruby Moody snack.
Thank you for your time.
Bye, Kwaku.